So in New Orleans, the interface between life and death, culturally and spiritually, was very, very, very thin. And you have to live down there for quite a while, actually, before you get the picture, is that it's no big deal and nobody really cares. When you're dead, and when you're dead, you really don't care. And I was this nice little white girl who lived there probably about 5 or 6 weeks, and was taking this one bus on a maybe 5 or 6 months, taking this one bus on a pretty regular basis. And it went through mid-city, through City Park, and then straight downtown. And one of the things that made it unusual was the fact that there is this horrific public housing project that has now become romanticized on television called the Treme. And there wasn't anything romantic about it. I've never seen that program. I don't want to. I know it's a complete motherfucking lie. From the air, the Treme project is beautiful. It was a WPA project, I believe, and from the air it looks like a charming little French village. On the ground, you take your life in your hands, sticking your head out the goddamn door. And this bus went straight down the long end of it. It's a big, long, rectangular construction that goes on for blocks in different directions. And this bus there was 2 stops, one at the very beginning of the Treme, which on the far side, the Metairie side, and then the downtown side. And people who lived in the Treme would get on the bus and take the bus through their own neighborhood to get home rather than walk, because that's how nasty and scary and hairy it was. And also at the downtown side of the bus stop, there was this wonderful little mom and pop store that had the best coffee on the planet Earth, bar none, and every other kind of donuts and cinnamon rolls and beignets and any disgusting munchable crap you can think of. And the bus driver was a very groovy, very hip guy who loved and cared for his people, his riders very, very much. And he'd zoom through City Park so he could zoom through the Treme, so we'd all have about 15 minutes break right at that shop, so we could get out, get coffee, get something to eat, prepare ourselves to go slam into the city and do our good deed for the day, being good little work niggers. And one day, he stops at the far side of the Treme, and all the regulars get on, including this junkie. And I mean, this guy might as well have had a neon sign that said, junkie blink, and he's staggering, and he's smelling bad, his eyes rolling, and he's weaving and bobbing, and several of the ladies who are sitting with me were all looking at him and going, man, this guy looks like he's a heartbeat away from dying, He gets on the bus, throws his money in, staggers into the seat. We take off, roll through the wonderful neighborhood called the Treme, and stop at the mom and pop. And he, because he was the closest to the door, he gets off, he kind of wobbles, he kind of staggers, he gets out of the bus, walks in front of the bus, and fucking drops dead. Right in front, right, boom. Like, here's the bus, boom. He's directly in the center of the bus, boom, he's dead. And we're going, oh my God. And this little white girl is going, oh my God, what are they going to do? They're going to call the cops, going to call the coroner. Oh, what are we going to do? We're going to be late for work. Oh my, this is so tragic and so gross. Everybody else gets off. They kind of look at him. They go in and get their shit. I'm sitting in there going, oh dear, what should I do? I think I'm just going to sit here. And the bus driver goes in, and he comes out with a cop, and they're standing in the front of the bus talking to one another. And they both go into the store. They come back out. They both go in. They come back out. And then the bus driver gets on the bus and gets back off the bus, and gets on the bus, and gets back off the bus, and we're all sitting here. Everybody gets on the bus, and then the cop and the bus driver are standing there talking, and they shake hands. The cop goes back into the store. The bus driver gets on the bus, and we take off. Because they weren't getting him a coroner. They weren't having a police investigation. What they were trying to do is figure out the way he fell, could the bus roll over the body without hitting any body parts. And the cop and the bus driver said, yeah, there's no reason for you to be late. Wow. On your run. So we just drove right over him, and nobody was late for work. Wow. Okay, now, a week later, our bus driver was on vacation, and they had a new fucking rookie who was like Mr. fucking I'm so hot, and didn't talk to anybody. Nobody liked him. And on the route in City Park, we went around the museum, this big round drive, and all the good drivers knew that's where you hit it to make up your time. But you had to slow down when you got to the far side of the museum because the museum had a flock of pet swans.
Okay.
And the swans were as big as a table. They were huge, monsters, giant fucking swans, and they ruled the roost, and this guy hits one. He's going too fast, he hits one. He had to pull over to the side of the road because he was being attacked by the furious riders on the bus who were screaming at him, "You stupid motherfucker, you killed a swan!" Women were hitting him with their purses, men were hitting him. He stumbles out of the bus, they call the cops, and he lost his job 20 seconds after the cops got there for hitting the swan.
Really?
Now, nobody gave a damn about the junkie, but you hit a swan in City Park, you just done lost your job, nigga. And that's the difference between life and death in New Orleans. The interface is so thin. And there were times when, yes, I stepped over a body on the way to Greco's at 4 o'clock after a very high-stoned, drunken rock and roll evening so I could get my Hubig's pie and Coca-Cola, which was the classic New Orleans hangover breakfast. And there had been a heart freeze, and several people died, froze to death on the street. You just walked over them because the cops had come along and the prisoners had come along, and it was their job to pick them up and haul them off, so that's what they did. And you really learned to respect life and death because it was that close.
Wow.
But when that bus started rolling over that junkie, this girl knew she wasn't in America no more.